Welcome to Paxa Rubiana. I'm driving here between Regensburg and Passau. The Germans have built a nice highway, but it's a two-lane highway, and the rest of the German highways are very often already three-lane, and just the connection towards Austria is two lanes. That's not good. Germany, NATO Germany. You need to build the three-lane highways to connect to neutral Austria, but nevertheless Austria joined NATO, and then Austria, please build the three lanes. We have already most of it, and so we can supply Ukraine efficiently via tanks and rail, because that's the idea. We need the supply lines until the Eastern Front, until Mariupol, and that's very important. So we need the east-west connectivity to efficiently supply weapons to Ukraine and bring grain and other agricultural or metal products back from Ukraine. And that's the idea. And I'm calling now since 5 years for a European infrastructure interconnectivity action, including Ukraine and the Western Balkans. Yes! And we have not achieved it. It's very sad. But the saddest part is Austria, because Austria is not even well connected towards Munich. This is the Southern Highway. It's very old-fashioned, and then there is that's the northern leg, basically just the Nuremberg Regensburg leg, and then we have the Salzburg Munich part, and it's also very underdeveloped, very bad. And then the worst thing is that the Germans always wanted to build a central connectivity between Linz and Munich, but the Upper Austrians blocked it, to the eternal shame, and now they are building it inside Bavaria up to Passau, and that's the A94. And I cannot understand, why don't we open these lanes for free lanes here, build good solar on both sides, and really that's a good investment, and that's energy independence, and that's the interconnectivity with the Balkans and with Ukraine. That's connecting the Bavarian industrial heartland with the Ukrainian industrial heartland, and it's connecting us with Turkey, and it's bypassing Russia, and it will make us rich. And yes, when there's a highway already, why not build 3 lanes? Hello Germany, hello Brussels, hello Austria. I cannot understand all these things. Yeah, that's really very, very important. Yeah, and now I'm heading in this NATO country towards the neutral border, and I cannot understand why Austria stays neutral. Austria, you are wrong. And that was my best debate in the Austrian TV, in the Servus TV. It was really funny, because I managed, because the moderator gave me the question, the first one, and then I said that neutrality is immoral. And then he said to everybody, is neutrality immoral? And all the other neutralists, they were totally in the defensive from the start. It was perfect. I was very, very happy with my performance for the first time in talk show. I'm not like Gerald Knaus, who is every evening in a talk show in Germany. But I'm just trying my best to at least have some access to some media to make a case for NATO membership, because we need to join NATO, and that's very important. That's what is so important. And I have on the 21st of November now Diplomatic Academy. They granted me a room, and I will invite Bosnia, Kosovo, Ukraine and Austria to celebrate NATO membership, and that's what I will do. And I hope we will have a nice event. Who exactly will be coming? It's still open, the question. But I will find some speakers of relevance, and I will do my best to get this done. Yeah, I have to work on it. That will be something I will work in the coming days, and I will find the speakers to make the case very clear. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Then I have a lot of other things to do now. Will be very busy November, but that's everywhere. November is a busy month. Now the holidays were also very busy, but at least I have my cold is finished. that's good, because I was now for 1 week, 10 days almost, recovering, and now I'm Straubing. This is not the Alps what you see here, but the clouds. But we are entering the Alpine area soon. You will see beautiful areas. It's not the most beautiful ride, but the most beautiful ride is obviously, you have two options. Either you go from Munich to Salzburg, that's really very beautiful, along the Chiemsee, and that's very, very nice, and you have the Alp panorama. But here it takes after Wels to see the Alps very nicely. But here you have flat land, good land, and industrial land. You know, Linz, it's the industrial heartland of Upper Austria. I'm happy here. But also in Bavaria they're producing things, yeah? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Bavaria, Oberbayern is still my role model for Upper Austria, because it's much more successful, obviously. We don't have enough people in Austria. We are too protectionist, too high taxes, and too xenophobe for progress. That's the problem of Austria. But we change it with next people's petition for the openness of the labor market for all Europeans. That will be similar difficult like with NATO membership, but I'm heading for that one, and I hope it will work out fine. Good, we have a very nice progress here, and we're heading towards Passau. It's a beautiful city. In Passau, obviously, I will go on the highway because it will be dark then. But it's wonderful if you have ever a bit of time and use the coast, the Danube road here from Passau towards Linz. It is, for all extent and purposes, perfect. Yeah? It is absolutely stunning, and I love it. And I can just recommend everybody to do that, because it's absolutely fascinating and it's amazing and it's beautiful. I will have to buy a vignette in Austria, I think so, and I will do that when I come, and that will be an extra cost where they torture me with this. Anyhow, I'm very much for road tolling, and of course that's a German rental car. It doesn't have an Austrian vignette, because who knew that I will take this car in Darmstadt and bring it to Vienna and back to Passau. And that's how Europe is today. Everything is so segmented, fragmented, because we have not united this continent decently, because everybody's living, and we are one crisis after another. In the last 14 years we had 10 different crises, from Syria, Ukraine, Libya, Greece, whatever, great financial crisis, migration crisis, and Brexit and Trump, and yes, Ukraine war now completely 2022. And so we are about 10 crises. Did I forget any? Yeah, Brexit, Trump. Yeah. Then we had migration. Yes, what else? We had the Greek debt crisis, I mentioned it, the Syrian war, the Libyan war, the big migration crisis, the 2014 Crim annexation crisis, the Donbass war. Yes, and what else? Yeah, I think that's the number of crises from the great financial crisis I can recollect. And the Georgian war, of course, in 2008, yeah. And what else? That's a bit the way we have it now in the last 14 years. 10 major crises, if I count correctly. And so we have these crises, and we are a bit in that situation. It's a bit messy. Now Bergischer Wald, that's a good sign. It's 3:30. I'm moving southeast, more east actually. And I'm heading towards Austria and towards neutrality, and that I hate, of course. I will make a small video here with my NATO flag at the border position with Austria. I try to find a good place to do that. It's not so easy. I don't want to be chased by the police or get any other problems, but I need to buy vignette anyhow, and I will be soon in Passau. Not very soon, but I will be. Yes, the Russians are celebrating our crisis, and they are taking over, and they think that they will be very successful. They felt so secure to make the big war in 2022 and to attack Kiev. My beloved Kiev, I think about you. Yes, they thought they can do it all, and they couldn't. And now they will be dismantled. Russia will be cut in pieces, as a punishment for this war, and we will not do it. Yeah, actually, many European appeasers, like diplomat Schallenberg, the great appeaser, and all his fellow appeasers in all the diplomatic offices, they will say, "Oh, please, Russia, stay united, stay united. You are such a great Russia. Oh, please, we forgive you all crimes." And they will say it like this, but they did the same. Even Bush, he went to Kiev to make the famous Chicken Kiev speech, and Baker went to Belgrade and to Zagreb, and everybody said, "Oh, please stay united. Don't leave these horrible terrorist unions which you don't want to be in. Yeah, please, Croatia, stay with Serbia. It's such a wonderful place to be massacred and tortured by a central authority." And we forced the Chechenians to stay, and they were killed. And now the monstrous Kadyrov is running the place and kills everybody he doesn't like, even in Austria or in Germany, and Nemtsov and all this. This is the reality. We should have recognized Chechnya and broken off all the parts and pieces who don't want to be in Russia, because states, empire shouldn't be no prison of people. I mean, it's logical. Yes. Let's see. But I feel very much with the people who are so exposed to the harm of the ruthless authorities, like the Russians or the Iranians. Also the Chinese. Let's never forget the Chinese. Because with all justification they want to have prosperity, but nobody should live under such a red Chinese terror regime. Nobody. At least the Chinese, that's a big difference, and that's why I'm softer. They have not attacked anybody, and there will no Chinese tanks roll over here. Yeah, let's be realistic. This will not happen. 70 kilometers still to go in Germany. I'm in NATO country. I'm very happy. But I'm trying to find a location where I can make a NATO statement, because when I cross the NATO into neutral Austria, it will be a shock again for me to be engulfed in neutrality. It's hard, but I will manage. So we are on the way. Yes. Good. This is the highway towards Passau. The Germans are driving too fast. I'm absolutely for the speed limit 100 in all Europe, and for tax 15 for corporation and for income everywhere in Europe. Then actually for the poorer countries, you have to be careful because they're driving so fast and then they're braking hard. That's of course German motorways for you. I'm careful. Yes, here's Autohof. That's basically a rest station. But I have decided to go on to use the daylight and the NATO security to move into neutral Austria as fast as I can and make more breaks than in the evening for when I'm in Austria, because there I have to buy the vignette. Hey, please, by the way, Kosovo and Ukraine, can you introduce vignette for your motorways? That's something very annoying, that the poorest countries in Europe don't have a system for payment for motorways. And Ukraine will have great motorways in the future. And currently they are not so of real motorways, but more speedways. There's not a real motorway at all, European style, in Ukraine. But there is decent motorways, and some of them, like to Odessa, they are already close to standards of the EU. The Western Highway unfortunately never was. And around Kiev they have good highways, yeah. But it's also very centralist. I always called for federal Ukraine in EU and NATO. Nobody listens. That's a sad story. But I'm fighting for that. The German model for Ukraine. Currency reform 1948 is the model for the introduction of the euro. Similar, it was done in Montenegro and Kosovo in 2002. Very good. And then we're heading towards NATO membership, 55 in Germany, 62 kilometers still. Yeah, it's like that. I make so many articles, write so much, talk, make videos, but the wisdom of the politicians must be higher than mine. They waited until we have absolute war, and now they are saying, oh, we cannot do nothing, we didn't see it. Yeah. If you didn't see that there's war in Ukraine since 2004, I don't know why you're a European politician. It's really very, very hard. Anyhow, here we go into that Passau. It's a beautiful town. Germany has many, many beautiful medieval gems, I would call them, gems. Some of them are really amazingly beautiful. And I like Bensheim now, that was cool. Also Seeheim is cool. The whole Bergstraße. You see the difference what it makes when they were not bombed in World War II. All these villages, there was no industrial core and no infrastructure facility, and so they were not bombed in World War II. Different to the symbolic Nuremberg or the key infrastructure link Frankfurt. But Frankfurt was rebuilt now, it's very nice. I showed you some of this on the website. In September I was there, it was so cold in September. Now we have this wonderful October. Strange. September extremely cold, October extremely hot. And now 2nd of September and then November. And still very wonderful day. And I'm heading ever more to the east. To neutral land, but I will come closer to NATO Slovakia. I should go there one day. I will do that when the time comes. But now I wanna do a tour to Carinthia as well. Carinthia would be cool. And then I can head on towards Salzburg, Innsbruck. These regions should be more people interested in NATO, because left-wing Vienna, it's the headquarters of the neutralist Heinz Fischer, the arch enemy of NATO and the friend of Russia, and of course Van der Bellen and Leitl, Schüssel. But in the regions, the good Austrians, they should be ready for NATO. And I think we have now a lot. I have not looked up now the latest, but on Thursday, because now it's again Wednesday, I saw the last result on the weekend, yeah, on my People's Petition. The People Petition NATO. It's a cool instrument, I'm very happy. And I'm happy I got some signatures, because it's very difficult, because it's like asking for the Republic in the UK. It's something wild in the Austrian context, because they're all very, very pro. Neutrality is for peace. Neutrality, it makes us different than the Germans. Neutrality is identity. Neutrality is our contribution to world peace. That's the Danube. It must be the NATO river. I'm sure it's the Danube. Huh? Yes, exactly. Third time we cross it. Here it's already very broad, yeah? Look, Danube. Hello, Danube, NATO river. The Danube is the NATO river. Serbia join NATO, Austria join NATO, Ukraine join NATO, then it's the NATO river. Moldova, yeah? Moldova, Ukraine, Serbia, and of course Austria. Then the NATO is safe. The Danube is safe in NATO. And then we can kick out Russia from the Danube Commission. The evil empire will be excluded from the last vestiges of European structural power, the Danube Commission. That will be so good. That's my dream. I will do my best to achieve it. Good. It's beautiful here, a beautiful day. We're heading east. I will keep you posted here. We're already in Deggendorf. That's a good sign, because that Deggendorf is where I think the highway is going to Munich. what kind of big problem that is that the Upper Austrians reject to make the central highway towards Munich, because now the people from Upper Austria or from Munich, both ways I heard, they have to go through this Deggendorf and to go via Passau, and this is München, you see, Deggendorf, very good, very good. Oh, be careful, Günther, don't podcast and die, no. Here I come again. This man had to overtake without any reason very fast. Communication and Netze, thank you very much. And here they are going to Deggendorf and to Munich Landshut. Landshut, most famous the place for the name of the airplane which was in 1975 by the German commandos, the GSG-9. They liberated it in Mogadishu. GSG-9 was built after the Munich debacle, where the Germans have been totally unprepared for global terrorism. And the terrorists from Palestine, they killed so many people from the Israeli Olympic Games. And the Germans had only policemen, like normal policemen from the street. It was a big disaster. And that led to the death of many people. And just now, 50 years later, the Germans have paid recompensation. But they did, they paid. And so that is the situation with Germany. It's they do justice, but 50 years it takes normally. Disaster. Anyhow, they built up this GSG-9. It's the special forces of Germany, and then they had these forces ready 3 years later when the next big Palestinian terror struck, and it was then the Palestinians trying to blackmail some of these left-wing socialist terrorists out of the jail in Germany, and they kidnapped the Landshut. This was the airplane of the German Lufthansa, and they kidnapped it first to Iraq, and there Saddam Hussein welcomed them, but it was too hot even for him, and then they put it out towards Mogadishu, and there came the storming of this Landshut. And there they were prepared, because when the German wants to prepare everything, to train everything, they know what to do, they can be highly effective. And they were. But I would nevertheless always leave it to the Israelis to liberate hostages. But they were not ready in 72, and they paid the high price. The Germans lost their reputation. They were incompetent fools in Munich, and the Israeli sportsman died, killed. That's the Danube, the river of NATO. I'm happy. Passau is closing in. We are closing into Passau, and you see how many trucks there are. Trucks, as much as you see. And they're all going to supply the East, bring things from Central Europe to the Balkans, from Germany, from the industrial heartland of Europe, from the Netherlands. They are driving towards Romania, towards Turkey, and towards the Balkans, towards Greece. And still we have not well connected this region because of German stubbornness and lack of vision and lack of spirit of unity. Shame, shame, shame. The last 15 years, and Merkel, who neglected Eastern Europe and who was not ready to push, and the whole zeitgeist in a way was against it. Protectionism, xenophobia, rejectionism of enlargement of OECD, Euro, everything. And the French are to blame as well, and the SPD. Who is exactly to blame? It's a collective mess. But the key persons are the most to blame, because they are the leaders. They cannot say, oh, Mr. Gabriel was responsible, I was just the chancellor. No, you cannot say that, Mrs. Merkel. Of course he is a nutcase. But you cannot blame everything on him and blame innocence. Donautal. Now we are in the Danube Valley. Passau straight ahead, and behind it, it's neutrality. The myth of neutrality, you can feel it. But let's not be too negative. There's also hope that Austria will join NATO. I will do my best for it, together with Malta, Ireland, with Kosovo, Bosnia, Ukraine. That's the future, and that's the hope. And that's what I will be fighting for in the coming days. Good, very beautiful here. I will head on and overtake here, That's the Bavarian Forest Natural Park, very beautiful. You see how much empty space there still is? So much. And now we are heading more and more towards Hengersberg, very good. I don't know that place at all. Beyond the mountain. Beyond, along the Danube. There is the core of the former Danube monarchy. It was called the Danube monarchy along the Danube. It's a natural motorway of the past. And it's not very well used still today. 2 little bridges, 2 less ferries. But it's getting better, it's getting better. Yeah, that's good. Good guys. I will keep you posted. More to come from Pax Europiana in the coming days. Bye.